Hey everybody, it's Brandon Collins back with another Medium Popcorn interview about Judas and the Black Messiah. This one is with the creators themselves, Charles D. King and Shaka King, who talk about their work on this fantastic HBO Max film. Again, we cannot say enough amazing things about this movie, so if you haven't seen it, please check it out. Again, shout out to AAFCA for hooking this up to be able to allow Medium Popcorn to be part of these amazing panel interviews. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as our podcast on all podcast players. Now, here's my interview with Charles D. King and Shaka King. Brandon Constant Medium Popcorn podcast. I wanted to hear from you all about the difficulties in kind of getting this film together and keeping your vision. What were some of the challenges you both faced? And Shaka, we can start with you again.
You know, the great fortune I had, is that like I say to people, I'm like, it's easy to win the championship when you're playing with the 97 Bulls, So to start with, I had, Ryan Coogler and Charles King, as producers on this film. And, we had the same politic in terms of the integrity in the, like, not even desire, but it wasn't even a conversation. That's how just like, we were on the same page, like there was never any conversation about whitewashing his words or ideas. I remember, when people saw the trailer, folks, I think quite frankly, rightfully assuming that, we were gonna like portray Fred Hampton as a liberal, and not at all acknowledge his, socialist and Marxist Leninist politics. And that was never even a consideration for us. And so, the hurdles really for me personally as a filmmaker, were really learning how to collaborate with my producers and with the studio, because I'd never been through a development process before. I'd only come from indie film and television, and television's a writer's medium. So you go into television knowing, well, I have no control over this anyway. And when you've been doing that for years, as I have, and you've been dying to make another movie, you're like, yeah, I can't wait to make a movie again, because then it'll be mine, But it's not just yours, and that was something that took me really the process of making this movie to learn. I knew how to collaborate with, a cast. I knew how to collaborate with a crew, but to collaborate with my producers in the studio to develop this piece of material was a learning process that made me a far better artist than I was prior.
Yeah, I would also say too that, in terms of making sure that the vision for the movie was seen through. I mean, Shaka was one of the things. I mean, Shaka had a vision for who he wanted in this movie, and he's talked about this in a lot of conversations. But I believe he got his dream cast of everybody that he was really focused on. And one of the things that we pride ourselves on, and the mission of our company Macro, is to support artists with like Shaka, and making sure that their vision and the authenticity of their work is supported, which is why we raise capital to try to come to a place where we're at the seat of the table. This wasn't only Warner Brothers. It was actually, when the movie got greenlit, more of the money, more of the equity came from Macro. Now, they were our partners, and they were great partners, and we had an amazing executive who has a real, Nija Kuykendall, I'm sure you guys all know, who, without her, I mean, she was such an amazing just advocate and got it from day one. But it was really making sure that his vision, and he'd worked in independent film, was fully realized, both from his cinematic lens as an artist, but also the potential of reaching a wide global audience, which is what he said in those very first meetings. He was like, I'm not looking to make a small independent movie. I want this movie to be seen globally. And so as his producers, that was, I mean, Ryan has such a populist commercial lens, but he's also a filmmaker. And we were able to use his strengths from there, Shaka's vision, our capital and experience from being in the industry on the executive side. And really, it was the village that came together with all of our teams, to make sure that his vision wasn't compromised, which I really believe in this case was not.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Thank you.
popcorn. We are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins,
That's me.
and Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn.
Woo!
You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it.
Spoil it in your face.
That's your warning. So if you